Hi, welcome back to Food Travel Shopping Channel, and you're watching another episode of the restaurant Remake. Today I'm doing another Chinese takeout favorite, and I've heard loud and clear that you guys wanted the pork fried rice. So today I am presenting you my version of the pork fried rice here. So for this recipe, I took a little easy way out because I know all of my viewers are very busy in a day-to-day life. So I cheated a little bit just to make a little bit easier for your life. So let me go ahead and show you what are the ingredients to make this pork fried rice. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to make the pork fried rice. So I have a Goya yellow rice. So we're gonna take a look at this. This is particularly 14 ounce. Just gonna open this. When you cook the rice, you do not want to follow the direction from the box here, okay? Because we are going to stir fry our rice, so we don't want to overcook our rice here. And normally at the restaurant, they use the jasmine rice, and then they do the using turmeric and some saffron to actually make the yellow rice. But I wanted to make it easy for you guys, so then just grab a box of Goya yellow rice, and this is a lot easier for you to do at home. All right, so I am gonna open this up here. So we're gonna pour this in directly. And in terms of how much water we're gonna put in, I usually measure it with one of my finger here, basically from the level of the rice to actually, one of your finger here. All right, so the box says 3.5 cups of water. So I am just gonna pour 2 cups of water here first. And just 2 cups of water, it's almost close to where the level of one of my index finger. Okay, so that is actually fine, because keep in mind, we have to stir fry it. We don't want it to be too wet, okay? You don't want the rice to be too wet. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a good stir here first, so then all the mixture of the saffron and whatever spice that they put into the Goya here is completely mixed here. Okay, so I'm using a smaller burner here, okay? So if you've been watching my cooking video, I usually use the burner on the right, but this time I'm on the left-hand side here. So we're going to just bring it to a boil first, okay? And once we boil it, and then we can cover it. And then we're gonna lower it to a simmer, and then we're gonna cook our rice. And we'll check back in a few minutes. Okay, so once it's a boil, we're gonna give it a good stir here. And then we're gonna close the lid. We're gonna cook for 20 minutes in simmer. All right, so I have some leftover Char Siu here. If you have not yet watched my homemade Char Siu video, I will put it in the description box below, as well as the link above. Okay, so we are going to cut these, and we're gonna dice it. So definitely some random pieces that I had as leftovers, and that's perfectly fine. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and slice them. Okay, so this is the cube that we want to slice it in. And you want to have it about a cup of the roast pork. Okay, so you can see I use a actually smaller bowl here just to measure, and it's about 8 ounce in terms of the weight of the roast pork here. So definitely a little bit more than 1 cup. So I would say 1.5 cups or so. So if you just do a regular rice bowl like this, I just stack it up in full, and that would be how much roast pork that I'm gonna put. Now, give and take, of course, you know, you're cooking at home, it doesn't have to be precisely exactly how much the weight and etc. So if you want a little bit more roast pork, you can. Okay, so in the meantime, I have 3 green scallion here, so we're gonna go ahead and dice it. Alright, so you wanna beat 3 eggs together. And these are the ingredients here. So we have 3 eggs, 1 medium-sized onions, you want to chop it. And because I have 2 small onions, really small onions, so if you have small onions like mine, so use 2 small onions, about 8 ounces of the roast pork here, and 3 stems of the scallion, 3 eggs. Okay, so this is 15 minutes into cooking the rice, and you can see already it looks very nice. And you want to just go ahead and give it a good stir here. Now for the rest of the 5 minutes here, I'm just going to turn off the flame and let it just sit in the cooktop. So go ahead and turn off the flame. Close the lid, let it sit for another 5 minutes, and then we're gonna be ready for our stir fry. Okay, go ahead and turn on our flame here. We're gonna preheat our wok here first, and then we're gonna add in about 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Okay, so you can do this step here while you're waiting for your rice here to finish. I am going to stir fry the onions here first. So once your wok here is preheated, we can add in our onions. Okay, so after cooking it for 30 seconds, we're also going to stir fry in our roast pork here first. All right, so after like approximately 2 to 3 minutes, so you can see the ingredients starting to get a little bit more dry. That's exactly what you wanted to do here. The onions are pretty much cooked. So we're gonna transfer it back to a bowl here. And then I would recommend you kind of clean out the wok here. You can just use a wet paper towel here. Alright, so just want to show you the rice here. Alright, so essentially you want to have your rice here that you can see every grain of the rice here. And this is actually really good, because if you don't see every grain individually, that is going to make it really hard for you to actually stir fry the yellow rice. So this is the consistency that you want to have your rice in. And now we are going to transfer this over into the wok, but we have to add in the oil first into the wok first. Okay, so you want 4 cloves of garlic here, minced it, and we're gonna add this in. All right, so after about 10 seconds here, you stir fry the garlic. And we would like to now add in our rice. Okay, so I have my rice here, so let's add this in. Okay, you want to stir fry your rice for 2 minutes or so. Want to get out the moisture. All right, so now we're gonna add in our egg. I usually put a little hole in the middle and then just pour in the egg mixture. Okay, we can add in our pork and the onions that we stir fried earlier, add it in. Okay, finally we're gonna add in our scallion. And finally, at the end, just a teaspoon of the sesame oil. All right, so now we're ready to plate this. Okay, at the end of every restaurant remake, we are going to test our food here. So let me just pour some in. You can take a look at the rice here. All right, when you talk about fried rice, you want every grain to be individual. It should not stick together. All right, so this is gonna constitute what is a nice pork fried rice. All right, so I have some in my bowl. Let's go ahead and check this out and taste test. Lots of pork. Everything is really stir fried together. I like it. Just like your Chinese takeout. Yellow pork fried rice. If you enjoyed this episode on the pork fried rice, please go ahead. If you enjoyed this episode of the pork fried rice, please go ahead and consider to subscribe to my channel by clicking the subscribe button below. And don't forget to click that like button so more viewers like yourself will enjoy this recipe. Don't forget, if you really like this recipe, feel free to leave a comment below, and I would love to hear your success story. As well, please feel free to share this video with your friends and family. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my next video and update at the restaurant remake.